everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hi Events. Today I am joining you from ColourNext 2025, brought to you by Asian Paints Causeway. Recognized across South Asia for being a definitive platform for color and material intelligence, ColourNext is unveiling a meticulously researched annual forecast which blends emotional resonance and global design foresight. This event is guaranteed to be more than spectacular, and we are more than excited to be here with you today. So, stick around for more. I'm Danielle, and this is Hi Events.
Good evening. We are very happy and proud to launch the ColourNext 2025 initiatives in Colombo. This is a research work which has been curated for the entire South Asian landscape with architects from Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and India, and a part of that research also brings in certain color trends and certain intelligence on how the trend is evolving, shades and their various emotions, narratives, etc. And today, as you can see at the back of my in the back side of mine, we have launched this as a color of the year 2025, which is Cardinal, which is rich in emotion, which is very immersive and mystical, and we really hope the consumers in Sri Lanka will embrace this trend, and we will move towards a very futuristic trend going forward with Cardinal as the color of the year 2025.
And as we start off, ladies and gentlemen, ColourNext 2025 is happening for the second consecutive year. And I can remember many of you familiar faces. We met last year around this time as well. And a very warm welcome to 25 as well. Now, you are aware that ColourNext is a trend forecasting process that identifies the changing cultural and social landscapes from within the subcontinent and thus identify future trends. And Asian Paints then look what material, what form, what textures and colors that best represents or express these trends and behaviors. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about Asian Paints, since their foundation in 1942, Asian Paints have grown to be a global multinational operation operating in 15 countries, having 26 manufacturing facilities around the world, and also serving consumers in over 60 countries. And Asian Paints Group hence have become India's leading, Asia's third, and world's 7th largest coatings company. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause to Asian Paints? Now, as we kickstart ColourNext 2025, I would now like to cordially invite Mr. Vaithilingam Kiridharan, Country Head, Asian Paints Causeway, to deliver the welcome address. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Kiridharan.
A warm welcome to all. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all back to ColourNext 2025.
Glad to be here. Really happy to see all of you. This is the first time I am attending the ColourNext event in Sri Lanka. About Asian Paints, it was founded in 1942. In fact, during the World War II, at that point of time, there was a huge need of oil and chemical for a retail household segment, and at that point of time, Asian Paints is a small company which was founded in Mumbai. This is some of the landmark projects in Sri Lanka which we are extremely proud of and we would like to showcase to you today. Iconic Galaxy, Cinnamon Life, Waterfront Integrate, Ward Place Prime Project, Panorama Residency, so on and so forth. And I'm sure with your help and cooperation, we will also be doing many more in the coming days.
Hi, good evening. It's really nice to be here. I'm here to present the stories of the year. I'd like to start with how we work on ColourNext. Of course, Mr. Buddhaditya and the video, of course, gave you a little insight into how we do it. So it's a lot of meetings, it's a lot of arguments, opinions, it's a lot of research that comes together and sort of brings this exercise together for us, and it's a real labor of love for us at Asian Paints. So now we move on to our first story, which is salt. So salt, why salt? Salt has existed for millennia, and why salt now? There's a lot of interesting work happening with the material. It's been a commonplace in our lives. It's used in our food. In fact, in construction, we actively try to avoid salt, right? Especially in coastal regions. But it's having a very strong and significant impact in design, is what we're noticing. So there are lots of examples from different parts of the world where design is being inspired not just by visually the way salt looks and how it crystallizes, but also how it's a material with agency, and there's so much beauty in that, right? Because it reacts to its environment, it grows. There's a certain amount of loss of control of the human being when you deal with a material like salt.
Can salt, the mineral omnipresent in our daily lives, become the biomaterial of the future? At a time when sustainability goals are driving a shift towards renewable resources, salt emerges as an emblem of possibility. From its ability to diffuse light to its antibacterial properties, salt's innate versatility makes it a bridge between the elemental and the ethereal. As a material, salt is reactive and shape-shifting. While the forecast palette captures salt's crystalline qualities and its occasional murkiness, salt, it carries into the future stories forged over millennia.
This one's a little provocative. We don't really want to be calling anyone's taste bad taste, but really it stands for a question. It stands for a dismantling of the hierarchy of taste. So sociologists, anthropologists have spoken about how taste is the distinction of class, right? It's the basis of elitism. But now, there are so many ways that people are earning their money, and there's respect for all kinds of ways of earning, right? And the new people who have come up in this way are turning that narrative on its head and saying, why do I need to have a completely beige home to be called classy? So this story is about that questioning of that norm and, being unapologetic about how you express and the things you choose to buy and the way you keep your home.
Luxury no longer whispers, it roars. The aesthetic once dismissed as bad taste has risen in rebellion. This movement celebrates flamboyance and audacity. It rejects muted palettes and understated designs, the traditional hallmarks of luxury. Instead, it embraces a visual language dripping with glitz, glamour, and deliberate excess, an ode to the unapologetically nouveau riche. The new definitions of luxury are playful and infinitely more inclusive. Metallic accents, animal prints, and vibrant designs now carry the torch of self-expression. signaling a break from the austere rules of good taste. It's about embracing chutzpah and an attitude unfazed by criticism.
This is the palette. It is a defiant palette. You have bold contrasts, high chroma colors that sort of sit together, and you think you're not supposed to sit together, but they do, and they work together. So there's a tension. I'm sure as architects you realize that tension when you build that narrow hallway and then that large double-heighted open space. That tension that you create in a space, we've tried to do that in a palette. So this captures that sort of energy. And this is the material board that is inspired by the story. We see, visceral, glossy surfaces. We're seeing a lot of use of gloss coming up, especially internationally in the West, where they use highly glossy surfaces, metal inlay, metallics, embroidered velvets, faux fur, and animal-inspired.
In a world with increasing algorithmic sameness, we are seeking authentic encounters. We want to really feel our feelings. There is a hunger for the visceral, for the tactile, for the truly immersive. This manifests as a courageous exploration of experiences and lifestyles that don't meet current societal norms. We're comfortable with acknowledging big feelings and living with them. So our created environments will be sensorially lavish and self-assured, even if it represents some sort of individualistic absurdity. The colorful details are embedded in the complexity and layering of the palette. We no longer hide the gray parts of our lives anymore, because whether comfortable or uncomfortable, we want to feel more.
As human beings, it gives us space to be multitudes. We're not one thing. We're not just happy people, or we're not just sad people. We have the ability to do both and do much more than that. It's about feeling your big feelings and having the courage to really speak about all of those big feelings. So emotion has been at the center of design always. I think design has always been a response to the way people feel. And we see so many examples of that, where people no longer want to be numb, but want to feel more, good and bad. So these are some of those really immersive, experiential places that we've found. And even it makes itself in art. It finds its way in art, it finds its way in architecture, it finds its way in engineering marvels. So this story is about really allowing yourself to feel more and find creative expression using your spectrum of things that you feel. So this is the color of the year 2025, a little bit about the color. So last year we had Terra, and Terra was about being earthy, it was about being grounded, it was about all of those, the materiality, the richness of materiality of soil, and how do we follow a great color like that? We chose a purple because it was a year with mixed emotions. We wanted something with a little bit of chroma, but not so much that it can't be used as a neutral. So there's a lot of gray in this purple. It's almost a neutral, but it's a rich color. It has emotion. It contains the ability to hold multitudes within it, which is why we chose this color.
Cardinal is a nostalgic purple, soulful, dusky, and complex. This shade is strong in character, but compromising enough for different environments. serene, maybe even bittersweet. Cardinal, making spaces, but also holding space for itself.
And ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end. And here we have Mr. Anuradha Idrisinghe, Head of Marketing, Asian Paints, coming on stage to deliver the vote of thanks.
We had a wonderfully refreshing session with a lot of theories and emotions, new themes, new colors for the future. And your significant presence here today marks your commitment and your engagement with us for future collaborations as well. So I think all of you together pulled a magnificent event, and I can say that we have inspired a lot of people, a lot of the audience here. Hi, I'm Anuradha Idrisinghe. I'm the Head of Marketing, Asian Paints Causeway. So today it's a very special day for us as we have invited around about 80 architects and interior designers in Sri Lanka to showcase the 4 themes, including the color of the year. So which we have concluded, and the whole the findings that we have gathered during the past year through research by collaboratively working with fellow architects in Sri Lanka and few other countries, and also in India. So today is the culmination of those findings, and we presented it to the community of architects and interior designers in Sri Lanka. So the 3 themes are salt, bad taste, and feel more. And the color of the year is Cardinal, which is a purple hue, and so which is a very it demonstrates sophistication, and also it can be used in all urban apartments or heritage homes alike. And I'm sure this inspiration will take our architects in Sri Lanka to create more inspirational and transformational work in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I came to this event. It's a quite different event to when you compare with certain similar events. You know, the way they presented the color of the year, it's quite interesting. You know, they had taken the 4 themes. One is actually the salt. You know, normally people don't think salt is something to match with color, but they have taken it nicely. Different themes of salt, and then all those things have led into a very interesting color that they have selected for this year. I think because when you select a color for the year, what is important is it should be able to match with other colors. Now, if you select a color which cannot be mixed with other colors, then you have an issue there. But in this case, I see this color that they have selected is quite interesting, because I think they have taken it from the nature itself. So they have done a lot of research, and that research has created a very interesting color. So it is quite good when you get a different color every year. So certain colors get hidden because we are not using it. But when you have a color of the year and then you select certain color, then that color comes up, and then we will be able to mix up various other colors. I think it's quite interesting event that we can take a lot of ideas as architects and interior designers for their future works.
I'm very pleased to visit Color of the Year event for the second consecutive time. I see this kind of events as, say, educational as well as promotional events. These kind of events tell the users how best or how suitably you can use color and paint to improve your, say, living and working environment. See, sometimes people play safe with color. Some are very bold, some are very safe. Safe people always go for very neutral color palettes with a lot of whites and grays, light blues, etc. But this combination, this what I say, the combos that they are presenting here inspire people to use the color to improve their living environments. So these are kind of these mock-ups are educating people on how to experiment, how to use color in a compatible and complementary manner. So I think this is a very good event to continue annually.
I am architect Chana Samarasinghe. I am all the time I like to play with colors. So Asian Paint give me a lot of opportunities. And when I think about these color schemes, I prefer this salt scheme. Other than that, in 2024, I got an opportunity to explore India also. So I think this is also a wonderful opportunity for all the architects. So they have introduced a lot of colors. So in my case, as I like to play with colors, I think this is a good opportunity. So I hope to use colors in this manner in future as well. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
ColourNext is not just a forecast, it is a lens through which emerging cultural moods, material innovation and design shifts are decoded and shared. We would like to applaud Asian Paints Causeway for the amazing job they have done with ColourNext 2025. The industry is never a dull place when creative minds such as these come together and bring about innovation. Well, that is all we have for today. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm Danielle and this is Hi Events.